A good morning on behalf of us here. Well, obviously, we're in our apartment, still in the lockdown situation here in California. I know, obviously, different states are opening up slowly by surely. Obviously, we're in different countries as well, so everyone's on a different time zone, I take it. Some people are in the afternoon, in the evening, and we're in the morning. My name's Anthony Edge, like Willie said. I'm a hairdresser. I've been a hairdresser for 31 years. English, you can tell by my accent, originally from England. Trained with a big company called Tony & Guy for 20 years. Headed up a few product companies. And then me and my wife behind the camera, Gloria, set up our own educational academy here in San Diego, where we do 1, 2, and 3 day classes. We do online education. We do one-on-one education, groups, coming to salons, stuff like that. At the moment, we've just literally been doing a lot of videos like this, teaming up with a lot of different brands and sharing the love, really, because it's all about stay home, stay safe, but also stay creative. All right, so we wanted to share with you a haircut today, and then we're on again tomorrow to do another haircut. Okay, so we bring out a collection of haircuts every single year at Edge. We're really excited to launch our 2020 collection on the 1st of June. So the 1st of June, we're going to be showing our brand new collection of shapes and haircuts. We're going to take you back to previous collections, and we're going to go back to a collection called the Polaroid collection. All right, so if you ever want to check out all our work, we have a website called Edge74.com, and you can see all our classes which are on there, all our we have our collections on there as well, where we have previous haircuts. And then if you want to see step-by-step haircuts, like something like this, then you can go on YouTube and see Edge the Academy, and you'll see loads of haircuts. All right, they're all free, and you can just see step-by-step little haircuts from long, mid-length to short haircuts. Okay, but today we've chosen to do a curly kind of look. Okay, I spoke to some of the boys who are cutting over the next 2 days, and we just wanted to make sure that there was a bit of variety within everybody. If some of you are watching every hour, different artists, different brands, it's nice to see a bit of variety. All right, so I've gone for a curly one. All right, so this is the image we're going to be working from. All right, so it's called the Polaroid collection. We shot on Polaroids, all right, so we took it a little bit different, and we did different looks. As you can see, there's quite a few different looks within the collection, but we're really focusing on this one today. This is called the alternate layering. Okay, alternate layering. It's really good technique for curly hair. So I wouldn't recommend using this technique if you're going to blow dry smooth, use a flattening iron, or on straight hair. We came up with this idea to design for curly hair. So if you've got a client with curly hair and you want to do something a bit different, then you could do this technique. Okay, so to make time a little bit easier for everybody, we pre-section. Okay, so we pre-section the mannequin, and literally we're going to map it out. So working behind a chair, you want something very simple, very effective, and it's going to make you money. Okay, there's nothing much worse than doing a creative haircut and it takes you 3 hours to do it. Okay, because we all know most clients don't want to sit in having a haircut for 3 hours. So we're going to be quick, but something fresh. All right. So sectioning parts wise, and I go on a profile there. You see the sectioning. The first section we placed in is a halo. Okay, it's like a circle section, a halo. All right. So the halo literally goes in front of the crown, okay, and below the crown. So what I did there, if I put the comb flat on my client's head, you can start to see where the head starts to curve. So we're literally working it in front of the crown. Okay, and then we're literally curving round the head shape, and we're literally working below the crown, or in the case of above the occipital bone. Okay, and we're literally working a large halo in there. So again, we've got Gloria on the camera, which is great, so we can start to see that kind of halo section. We clip that top out the way. Okay, how big do you go with a halo? All depends on the density of the hair. So if you're working on a client who's got finer density, she's got fine hair, so the smaller the halo. The smaller the halo, the more weight you're going to be leaving in that perimeter. The larger the halo, the more weight you're going to be taking out, because the halo is going to be layered. And what does layering do? takes out weight, okay? Creates volume, creates movement, creates texture, but also it takes out a lot of weight, okay? So it depends on how big you want to go. So if you go smaller, yeah, you're going to leave a little bit more weight in the perimeter. If you go larger, you're going to take more weight out. So these are little tricks that you would change ever so slightly, okay? So work your halo in. Once you've done that, we're going to literally work this haircut from a natural parting. So we literally just put a natural parting in one side. You don't have to work it from a natural parting. If you've got a client who wears it more in the center, you could literally keep that profile in there like a center parting, or you could work it on a side or the opposite side. You decide from your client's consultation. And from there, we literally put a parting ear to ear, okay? So in a way, what we're doing here is we're subdividing the hair into three. So you've got one is the halo, two is the front, and three is the back, which is clipped up. So from behind the top of the ear, that nape area is clipped out the way. Okay, so we clip it out the way. So you've literally got those sections in there. 1, 2, 3. All right. So how we're going to approach this haircut is we're going to start with the section which is not clipped up. So we're going to start with the front. All right. So a little bit different. And that's what I love about this haircut is you can start any way you like. Okay. So we're going to start at the front and we're going to work on a little bit more of an offset kind of feeling to it. All right. So we're going to create like an asymmetric fringe. All right. So we're going to go straight through the natural parting. So straight through the natural parting, we're going to work internally first. So we're not going to cut through the outline, we're going to literally cut internally first. So we're going to bring this out on the base, first section, 90, okay, on the base, and then how short do you take this? You drop that down and you can start to see suitability of your client's face. You want to take it to the nose, to the lip. Is it going to jump up? Because we're working on curly hair. So again, it all comes down to suitability, lifestyle, and obviously the density and the texture of the hair. All right, so you can literally just point cut through, following the head shape. So first section on the base, 90. Let that drop down, and then you can start to see what sort of length you've got. So it's a little bit too long still, so you can go back in and cut more off. This is where you get your client involved as well. So on a real life scenario, the client would then be turning around and saying, yeah, a little bit more. And then eventually she would turn around and say, I'm happy with that length. The key to a good haircut is from the consultation. So the client's happy, everyone's happy. So when I do a consultation, I always ask 3 questions when I'm doing a client, cutting a client's hair. So the first question I would ask my client on a consultation is, what do you love about your hair? Okay, so an open question. I'm going to ask her, what does she love about it? So she's turned around and she goes, I love my length. I like it longer. All right. I like to keep some length. I don't mind taking something off my length, but I want to keep some length. I don't want to go short. Okay. Right. So that's what she loves about her hair is longer hair. What does she hate about her hair? She said it's flat. It sits flat all the time. Yeah. And she's always scared of having a haircut because her hair is maybe curly, yeah, or wavy. And she feels like when she has a haircut sometimes, she feels like she has a Christmas tree haircut or a mushroom, or she feels like it goes into like a triangle because she gets too heavy where the layers fall. So she always gets scared of layers. Okay, so that's great. What's her dislikes? And then the third and final question I always ask is what product are you using at home on your hair? All right, so what product do you use on your hair at home? How do you style it? Stuff like that. Because then if she's turning around and saying she's using mousses, sea salt sprays, anything moisturizing, and it's getting me to use the right products for her hair type in the salon as well. All right, or she completely hasn't got a clue about products, and it's there to me to introduce products to her. And also, as we all know, as a busy hairdresser, products make money. Okay, so we're just going to over direct everything into that stationary guideline. So what stationary means staying still, and everything is over directed into that stationary guide. So I'm doing the first section on the base at 90. So the first section is on the base, 90. Okay, my elevation distribution, 90. And then now what you can see is over direction. Okay, so then all the rest of the hair then is over directed to maintain some length and some weight through the sides. So when I comb that down naturally, you'll be able to see I'm creating short to long. Okay, so I'm getting a nice feeling of like a little asymmetric fringe. I don't want to take it really, really short. But again, some of you who are watching would have gone, yeah, I can take this a lot shorter. And I'm always a big believer, what's the difference between a commercial haircut and an edgy haircut? 2 inches. If I take this 2 inches shorter, it's like, wow. And if I leave it 2 inches longer, it's very safe. Okay, so you're going to get those kind of areas. So you know your clients better than me. So I want to make this very salon friendly. I don't want to make it too weird or too edgy. Okay, so you put your first section on the base at 90 and the rest of the hair is over directed to that stationary guideline. All right, so now I changed my body position. I stand on the opposite side. I re-establish the guideline right through the natural parting. And I'm just going to over direct all that hair from the hairline.
A commercial haircut is a haircut that is more mainstream, more salon friendly.
Oh, I've got a question, yeah. Yeah, so every day, salon friendly, nothing weird. A money maker. Okay, and then you just over direct everything up to that stationary guideline. Okay, so if you're working on finer hair densities, you can work a section like this, like quite a large section. If you're working on thicker hair, you might need to take a couple of more sections. If you can't see your guideline, don't guess it. All right, and then if you're a hairdresser who likes to cross-check, and you're like, I like to cross-check this, I want to know what I've done, then literally you can just cross-check it horizontally. Okay, and you'll literally elevate up straight out there from the head at 90. And what you'll start to see there is shorter to longer. And then lift it up again. So you'll be able to see that angle. It's nice because we're working on a blonde today, so it's kind of nice. All right, so you can see it's short to long. And it's all short to long, all the way through. Okay, and then do the opposite side. So what you're trying to get there is getting like a little offset concave shape. All right, so think about like what concave is. It's shorter. Yeah, so you can see there. Perfect. Yeah, it's a little bit shredding this head, but you can see there. Perfect. So you can see it's shorter, going longer, and then going longer. So it's getting a little bit concave through that, just off that offset from that parting. Okay, we're happy with that. All right, so that's our first section layered. All right, we'll work with an offset layer through the front, just to work with like kind of like the client wearing it over to one side. If you've got a client that says, look, I don't wear it over to one side, I wear it more in the middle, you could take it shorter in the center and pull everything into the middle, and then you get more face framing, you can get a little bit more of a Bridget Bardot feeling, very 70s look, which you start to see a lot over the trends. And what I'll do now, we're literally just going to tidy up that perimeter. Okay, so again, your elevation depends on what you if you want this more shattered, or do you want a little bit more strength to this? So the lower the elevation, the closer you go to the face, the stronger the perimeter is going to be. If the client says, I like my perimeter a little bit more broken up and a little bit softer, then you elevate. What does elevation do? It creates softness and it creates graduation. Okay, so in this case, I want it a little bit broken up. I don't want it to be too solid, okay, through that outline. But again, that's personal preference. What you see and what I see are always going to be a little bit different. And that's good, because that's why clients go to you than somebody else in the salon. All right, so a little bit of elevation, okay, just a little bit of softness. I'm not taking lots off here, all right, because the layering pattern has created the shape for me. All right, if I needed to cut loads off this, then I would have cut more off the layer, okay? So without realizing, the layering has created the shape for me, okay? So I'm just literally just, in a way, dusting or tickling the ends, just ever so slightly. So nothing crazy coming off there. All right, so we're going from shorter to longer, and then they'll do exactly the same now. Going shorter, so there's my shortest point, and then it's going longer towards that outer edge. Okay. Right, we're happy with that. So you can just check your balance if you wanted to check your balance at the bottom. It should be the same, but then everywhere else it's going to be a little bit offset. Okay. Right, so that's our first section done. Okay, working with a natural parting on the base and over directing off. Okay, so now we're going to go into the second section. So we take the clip out the back. We'll take this out now. And just drop all that down. And again, depends on the density of the hair, is what you do through this back area. As you can see, we've got a nice little movement going on. But if it was really thick, and you're working on a little bit more heavier hair types, then you would could literally work in something like a little cheeky layer. All right, so what you could do here is like an inverted layer again. So shorter through the middle.
Can you remind our audience where the 3 sections are again?
Yeah, 3 sections. So the 3 sections, the first section you place in is your halo, okay? So you work in a halo, and then you clip that out the way. So there's number 1, okay? Then you literally put a parting from ear to ear, just below the halo, and there's number 2, which is your front section. And then behind that parting is your nape, and there's number 3, all right?
And the front section is subsection 5, the natural parting. So yes. It could be on the side or in the middle.
That's right. And then this nape area, again, we're just going to do a little bit of a layering pattern, but nothing crazy, because the hair is fine. This mannequin head, what we chose, is a little bit more of a finer density. So I didn't really want to go crazy with lots of layering in the nape area. But if you've got a client who's got even finer hair through this nape, then you would leave this bottom area 1 length. You could just leave it 1 length. In this case, what we're doing, we're just literally working square. So we're just bringing everything out square, like so, and then over directing into the middle. So we're pulling it into the middle, okay? And then even that front section, I don't think it will reach, but you don't need to keep the parting in here now. You can literally just grab any of that front section, yeah? And you pull everything into that middle, okay?
Would you recommend point cutting throughout as you're doing, or would you blunt cut? Would blunt cutting be okay?
Yeah, blunt cutting would be okay. I would blunt cut if the hair texture is finer. Because this technique is designed for curly hair, we're trying to create a softer edge and a softer look. So that's why I've decided to work with the point cutting. All right? I wouldn't do this technique on straight hair, okay? Or, you know,
fine hair.
Or anybody with, you know, if it's wavy, you can do it. Or if it's curly, perfect. But if you've got a client who says, look, I blow dry it, I use a flattening iron, I like it straight, then I'm not going to use this technique. Why? It's because you'll see when I get to the halo why we don't do it straight. Okay, so just literally just pulling everything into the middle. See, it's not a lot coming off. And I like just dusting ever so slightly. Okay. And then what we'll do now is literally just tidy up that outline. Okay, so I'll just put that.
So this is a length for clients who want to maintain their length.
Yes. Yeah.
Would it matter what side you start on?
Nope. No, start on inside. And like the good thing about this, if you feel like, oh, I can't cut the front first, it feels weird cutting the front. I always start at the back. You could have cut the back first if you wanted to. You could have gone 1 and then inverted everything in, and then gone to the natural parting and inverted everything in. You could have done it that way around. All right. Sometimes it's just nice to start in a different place, and it keeps us more creative instead of being like a robot. All right. So in a way, I've chose to cut the fringe or the front first. Okay, well, that was just my personal opinion. Some of you might prefer to cut the back first. All right, so just to recap it all right, so we've done 2 sections already, all right, with this look, and you can see when I start to scrunch it, you've got a nice little bit of movement in here as well, what we'll start to see with the mannequin head. Okay.
What size shears are you working right now?
The shears are 7s. All right, it's a 7-inch shear. It's just, again, personal choice with the scissors and what size. I'm using that size 7. Okay. So, you start to see the actual shape. You can see. So we've still got that halo clipped up. All right, so you've still got the halo clipped up. So what we've done, we've literally worked underneath the halo. So for everybody who's just like following through, let's just do a little recap just to make sure everyone's happy. So first, we started off at the front on a natural parting on the base. Yeah. So this section was just on the base at 90 on the head. And then we pulled all the hair up to that guide and all the hair from the hairline here all the way over to that guide. And then you create like a little offset concave. So instead of being in the middle, you're literally being on the side. And it's going to be going from shorter to longer and then shorter to longer. All right, so you get a nice little soft concave. And then we just tidied up the perimeter. So you created like an offset kind of fringe or an asymmetric fringe. That's how we've approached it. And then through the back area, we literally worked a vertical section square, just like so. Okay, and then we just literally pulled everything into the middle. Everything into the middle. All right, you won't really get much concave there because we didn't take much off. All right, we took a little bit off, just taking a little bit more weight out through that middle. All right, so then when you pulled it into the center, it won't even really be concave. It will just maintain this well then. And then we just tidy up the perimeter. That's it. Okay. So if you've got a client who's got finer hair, you might well leave that one length. You might not need to layer it. Okay. So if you've got someone with loads and loads of hair, and instead of working it more square, you might work it short to long. And what's the difference there is you're basically taking off that corner. You take the corner off, and you're going to get a little bit more seamless. Yeah, you're not going to get any heaviness or shape to it. Okay, so little tricks there. Right, so before we take the clip out of our final section, yeah, we're going to comb that away down like that. Let's comb all this down, all right, away from the halo. And then I'm just going to clip this out of the way. If it was a real client and, I would literally tuck it behind the ears, yeah. I'll take it off her face. Maybe I have to take it off her face. I just don't like hair falling all over the place. So I just want to try and keep it as clean as possible. We can. So we'll just get a little heart in just in the neck there. And just clip all that underneath out the way because it's a disconnection. Okay, it's disconnected this halo. It's not connected with the underneath. So I want to make sure that I get this clipped out the way because the halo is going shorter. Okay, because I want to create some layers. And what does layering do? It takes out weight. It also creates a little volume. All right, so if I can just clip that out of the way and keep it as neat as possible. And then do exactly the same on the opposite side.
There's a question.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if I understand this question correctly, but would you consider these layers meaning you see them with movement?
See with movement?
Or would you consider these invisible layers?
Yes, invisible layers, yeah. Yeah, seamless, invisible layers. Yeah, you could say it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to have like, hey, there's your layer.
Shell.
And shell. Yeah, things like that. Okay, good. Yeah. And that. Especially with people with curly hair, they don't want to have a shell. They don't want to have a weight line in there. They want to have it more seamless.
What part are you trying to move away?
What part am I trying to move away? I'm just basically just clipping up underneath. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just grabbing any of that hair underneath, and I'm just literally just clipping that out the way. I'm just twisting, and I'm just going to clip that out the way.
To keep the sections clean.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Now I'm going to literally drop down that halo. Okay. If I didn't, and that was all just messy, I'd be like, oh, good luck. All right. Because this is where we came up a few years ago with our collection called the Polaroid collection. We came up with a technique called alternate layering. Okay. So this is where it's the technique or the haircut is called alternate layering. And this is where it is. is at the moment what we've done, we've maintained length, we've created a little bit of a seamless layer at the back, and at the front, we're working with inversions. All right, so what we're going to do now is something a little bit different. Okay, and what we're going to do now, we're going to split it into different panels. All right, so it's kind of a little bit tricky, so you have to follow along to make sure you understand it. All right, so you've got a large halo in there. So what do we do now? We're going to split it into two. You go right down the middle of your halo. Like so, I'll probably go there. Backdrop. All right, so you've got like a center parting or profile, whatever you prefer to call it. So you've got a little center all the way down. So you've got two halves now into your halo. All right, so you've got a large halo, and you just split it in half. So what you're going to do now, you're going to split it into four. So what we're going to do, you're going to go half, and then you're going to half it again that way. So you're going to have four elements to it now. So you're going to split it across the halo.
And someone earlier asked about if this Zoom class is being recorded. I'm not sure, but we do have a YouTube channel. You can find this video. This is called the Alternate Layering. And you can either find that on our YouTube channel, or you can follow us on Edge the Academy on Instagram. And it should be on our IGTV videos.
Very good. So good.
You're welcome.
Okay. So a little bit tedious, you know, especially if you're working behind the chair and you're busy. Well, you know, it's something different. It's something fresh. If this is a little bit different and something fresh, it means you're learning. If it feels like, oh, what's he doing? I haven't got a clue what he's doing. Then that means it's something maybe fresh and something new that you've never done before. All right, so you've just literally got the halo. You split it in half, and then you split it in half again. So that means you've gone from 2 to 4. And guess what? We're going to go to 8. So you're like, what? How do we go to 8? So we're going to split all these 4 into 8. So what it's going to look like, it's going to look like a pizza, yeah, or a pie, whatever you prefer to call it. And everything's pivoting or rotating from the middle. So every section is coming from that middle, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go right from the middle, yeah, and I'm going to split that in half, and I'm going to grab that hair, and I'm going to twist it out the way, like so. And it's good to twist, yeah, because then you've got control of what each section. If I was like behind the chair and I was working with products as well, then, you know, like curl creams, curl spray, leave-in conditioner, anything like that, moisturizing products for curly hair, that's always nice.
Can you use this technique with straight hair?
Nope.
Yeah, this is for curly and wavy hair.
You use it specifically. If you use this on straight hair, then good luck. She's going to come back crying. Okay, because it's not designed for curly. It's not designed for straight hair. It's just dry. We wanted to show you something, you know, new, fresh for curly hair clients.
With movement.
With movement, bounce.
Great texture.
Okay.
What would this technique be good for thicker or thinner hair?
Both. As you can see, the mannequin is pretty thin. All right. So if you've got a mannequin, or no, not a mannequin, a real client, should I say, who's got finer hair, what you would have to take into consideration there is the halo goes smaller. So finer hair, the halo would be smaller. So that means you're keeping more weight in the bottom, and then you're layering not as much. All right, on finer hair. Thicker hair, halo can go bigger. Yeah, because you're taking out more weight and you're creating more texture.
Because you want to create a solid perimeter.
Yes. Well, I hate, personally, it's just my personal opinion, I hate perimeters what look see-through and really wispy. You know, no disrespect to hairdressers out there on social media, on YouTube and stuff like that, but just when they're educated and they slice all the perimeters gone. And that's just, you know, they like that, that's great. But for me, I like it where it looks like the client's had a haircut. It looks decent. I don't like it where it's all been chopped out and hacked out. So I like to keep a stronger perimeter. Okay, but if the client said I like my hairline or my perimeter a bit more broken up, more than welcome to go in and break it up. All right, so a little bit tedious, just for that little bit, but it's definitely worth it. So if I put my mannequin back a bit, just for Gloria, just to give you a little bit of a look. All right, so you can see the halo's there. All right, you've got your halo. You split it into, so you had one big section. you split it into 2, then you split it into 4, then you split it into 8. Okay, and that's how we did it. Everything comes from the middle, and it just looks like a large little pie or pizza. Yeah, and pivoting through. Okay, so a nice little sectioning pattern, something fresh, because it's called alternate layering. And what alternate layering is, it's basically says it in the name, alternate. So what that means is we're going to have different lengths all the way through this. So there's going to be a short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Okay, so it's rotating all the way around the head shape, following the head, but they're going to be different lengths all the way through. Okay, so when me and Gloria played around with this a few years back on a dolly head, you can imagine what some of the dolly heads look like when we practice to do a new collection. Because at the end of the day, you know, I've been a hairdresser, like I said, 31 years, and I'm still learning. I still look at inspiration. We get books, magazines, movies, Instagram, Facebook, Netflix, you know, all sorts of stuff. We get inspiration around us. And then we come out with new collections every year. And before we come out with a collection, you put it on a real client or a real model. Because we use professional models, we use, like, you know, normal girls off the street who are just like, you know, pretty girls in works in Starbucks and stuff like that. But we don't want to cut her hair and then it's disaster. So we play around with some of these shapes on a mannequin. We get the idea, and if we nail it, then it goes in the collection. Because for me, a collection is only successful when people like it. Yeah. And if the hairdresser likes it, fantastic. But if the consumer, the client, likes our collection, I'm happier that a client likes it more than a hairdresser. Yeah, because the client will influence the hairdresser to do that haircut. So when I do a hair collection every year, I don't just think about what the hairdressers want to see. I also think, what does clients want to see? Yeah, I don't want to do weird haircuts and shave one side off and one side on and shave all the crown off. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's great for a hairdresser to do it, but a client might be like, I would never have that haircut. All right. So what we're going to do now is literally going to work with this sectioning pattern. So you pick up one of your little wedges, okay? It elevates out, right? And we're literally going to focus on the short pieces, okay? So like when I said before, me and Gloria played with this shape, and we did short, long, and we didn't do it really well that way. So what we came up with, it's a lot better to cut all the short pieces first, okay? So think about it, there's 8 wedges there. So there's going to be 8 short pieces and 8 long pieces. So let's go with the short ones first. So the elevation is 90 from the head. So the head's fine. My elevation, 90. My fingers are parallel to the parting, perpendicular or parallel to the parting. So I'm following the head shape. All right. And then how short you take this, again, from your consultation, does you want a lot of volume, a lot of height? So we'll decide on what sort of length you want to go. So we'll say something like that length. Okay, we'll just literally point cut through. Okay, if you felt like it was too heavy still, you could go in and break it up and do some slicing. Again, it's personally up to you how choppy you want to go. All right, so that's your first section on the base. Now you leave this one, you leave this twist, leave it, and you're literally now going to go into the second one. Okay, so you grab a little bit from the top as your guideline. All right, and then you grab your second section, or third section, sorry, your third. So you're missing out the second one. So you're missing out that second one. That's not been cut. All right, and there's your guideline, and you're going to connect it through. You connect that through, and you point cut through there. Okay. Nice and choppy.
How do you know which section is short and which section is long? Keep long.
Because we're going to go alternate. So literally.
So you can start any section.
Yeah, you start any one you want. So you start with the fifth. So I've gone one here, and then you leave one.
The key is to leave every other
so,
one. So
you're leaving every other one. So you've gone short, long, short. So now I'll go to this one, and now I leave this one out. So this one, which is twisted, I'll leave it out. Yeah, and I go over to this one.
So you skip a section again.
Yeah.
And then using a previous guide.
and go through.
And would you do this haircut for shorter hair?
Yeah, I could do it on shorter hair. Nice. But always remember curly. Now I think you understand, because obviously short, long, short, long. Imagine blow drying it, mega straight. Client would be like, what's these long pieces? What's these short pieces? And they see the manager. Yeah, you'd be like, oh, what haircut have I just done? Okay. So there's you there. And then your final short one is here. Okay, so yeah. Grab a bit of the hair from the previous. There's your guide. On the base. Okay. So you've literally gone 1 and then missed the 2, number 3, missed 4, gone 5, and then gone on to, you know, number 6. Okay, so we just do alternate. So now we're going to go back into the longer piece now. All right, so I don't want to leave it so long. All right, you could do, if the client had short layers already, this was short layered already, then I would literally just leave it. But because it's not layered, and that's pretty long, as you can see, to where the short one is. You can see. So what I want to do is I want to leave the long one about 2 inches longer. Okay, so I'll just go all the way through, see the guideline, and go 2 inches longer, and then make up a new guide.
So 2 inches longer than the shorter.
Yes. Okay, and you're also just making sure that you're working within the halo. So you can see, look, I can grab all that side now, all that halo. Yeah, I can grab all the halo, but do not cut anything underneath. All right, that's why it's clipped out the way. And I can just grab all that hair. And if I hold it there now, can you see the short bit just falling? Sorry, it just fell by the time I said it. So let's do it again, and I'll just show you. But I bring that out on the base at 90, and can you see the short bit just falling away now? There's all the short bit. So literally, you're just going to go in now and work in a longer piece.
Someone asked if there's 1 or 2 sections. So there's, or 2 guidelines, sorry. 1 or 2 guidelines.
Yeah, there's going to be 2 guides. So you've got the guideline, what you're going to ignore now, which is the short piece. You're going to ignore that short piece, and you're working in your new guideline, which is the long piece. So your long piece, like Gloria just said before, is 2 inches longer. So it's just 2 inches longer. Yeah.
Have you done this cut in someone with 4C hair texture? I'm not sure what 4C hair texture means.
We've done it in what texture?
In someone, can you explain what 4C hair texture means?
I don't know what that is.
Sorry.
Just lift that out. You can see that guideline now, what you just cut on the previous side. It's all 2 inches longer. You just basically pivoted through, taking it.
Oh, like African American
yes.
texture. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful.
Ah, I learned something new.
Yeah.
So 4C means usually Black women with very coarse hair.
Oh, wow.
So you just have to take into their curl pattern into consideration. You know, if it springs up too much, then you don't cut too much. Because otherwise the pieces will be really short.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done a beautiful look like this on our new collection, which we're going to launch in June.
Just fine coils.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, you could do that. Okay, and that is the technique finished there. All right, so just to recap, because, you know, it is a lot to take in. I know there's different levels of experience watching the video. So for some people who have been in the industry a while, they might be like, oh, that's new, fresh, fast. And then some of the younger generation might be like, wow, can I just go through it again, just to recap it? So what you do, you've got your halo, split it into half, and then you half it again, and you half those again, so you've got literally 8 little wedges. Then you start at anywhere. So someone asked, where do you pick your short one? Anywhere you want to go. So I just started, like, say, for example, here. My finger was parallel to the parting on the base. I cut it short. Then I use the guideline for the third section. So I missed the section. Then you're alternating. That's why we called it alternate layering. That's why we came up with the name, because we were doing alternate. Alternate, there was a short piece, then another short piece, then another short piece. So what we've done there is 4 short pieces, okay? You go 1, and then you miss a piece, and then you go second, yeah? And then you do your third, and then you do your fourth. So there's 4 pieces short. Then you go back in, and you see your long piece, and you leave it 2 inches longer. But if it was short already, like someone asked if it was short and could you do it on short hair, yeah, you could do it on short hair, but then that long piece you won't even have to cut.
So how do you decide a 2-inch difference?
You just bring it over and you see the guideline underneath, and then you make it 2 inches. Okay?
If you were to do this look on kinky curly hair, would you do it dry?
No, do it wet. But again, that's personal preference. Yeah, I like to have more control when the hair's wet, because trying to put that sectioning pattern in on dry hair might be a little bit tricky for me. All right. Then what if you're going to do that halo and then you're going to split it? You might need 8 clips. Yeah. Why? Because by the time I'm twisting it, it might be too dry. So you might have to clip them, and then you can maybe do it on dry hair. All right. Good question. But for me, I prefer to do it on wet. All right. And if you're going to do it on wet and you've got to start to see the curl pattern, like Gloria said, you don't want to go too short, because there's nothing much worse and it springs up and it's too short. Okay? But why we came up with this idea is because what's going to happen now when we shake all that out, and shake all this out now, it's disconnected from the underneath. But what's going to happen is you don't have a shelf. And that's the main thing we came up with. It's because as clients with curly hair, you turn around and they say, I love it. All right, I love my curly hair, but I hate to have a Christmas tree. I don't want a haircut looking like a mushroom. I don't want to have a haircut where, I feel like I've got a weight line everywhere, okay, or it's feeling too heavy. So that's how we came up with this kind of idea. Sorry, from the back.
If you do it wet, how do you determine how much it will shrink then?
We just cut the first section and then let us see how it's going to jump up. All right, so maybe take an inch off the first section, and then grab, say like this was the first bit, and then just let it jump up, yeah, and see how much it's going to jump. And if you can afford to take more off, take more off. All right, so have a look. You cut the first one, play around with it, and if you're happy with the first length, then continue. If it's too short, just make sure you go a bit longer on the next ones. Okay. And then why we created this is because there's nothing much worse than a client has a layer all the way around the head. All right, that's what we don't want to have, because what we've done here is like a zigzag section. Yeah, because what's going to happen, you're going to have one short, one long. So what's going to happen now is the curl pattern, there's a long piece there, there's a short bit there, there's a long piece there. So what's going to happen when she moves her hair around, there's no shelf. There's no weight line. There's not like all the length is sitting at that same level. Because what you've got one longer, one shorter, one longer, one shorter, one longer, one shorter, all the way around the head. All right? So it's creating like an alternate layer all the way through. And then you literally just scrunch it through. And then you would literally decide, if you wanted to take any weight out of this, how you would dry it. Yeah, so I haven't got any product in here, but if you wanted to put like leave-in conditioner, you put like some kind of curl product in there. You could curl it, get a little bit of movement going on there.
If someone has super coarse curly hair, would you go through after and texturize it to get rid of some bulk?
Yes. Yeah. And and I'll just show you now. We've got a little bit of time just to show you a little bit of personalizing. All right, time. So let's say for example, you dried it, you used a diffuser, you had it all dried, and you felt like it was looking a little bit heavy in certain areas. For me, I always like to use 2 techniques for curly hair. Yeah. So my techniques for curly hair would either be before I blow dried it, say like before I blow dried it and it was looking a bit heavy, I'd use a technique called brick cutting. All right, so I do this before blow drying because I'm going to use my comb. All right, so you would literally just get your comb like so. Side for Gloria, so you can see what I'm doing. And I'll use a technique called brick cutting. And what brick cutting is literally going higher and lower with your blade. So you use the tips of your blade, and you go higher, lower, higher, lower, higher, lower, higher. Yeah, and that basically just takes out a little bit of weight. Okay.
Again, this is not a texture for a straight hair.
No, it's for curly hair. All right. So then that's great if you've got the hair wet and you want to comb it. But then say like you just finished and you've done it all curly and you've scrunched it all and you don't want to use a comb. All right. So what you do then is you visually look and you felt like, oh, it looks a bit heavy here, for example. Then what you could do, you literally just twist the hair.
What was the technique you just did?
Brick cutting.
Brick cutting.
And then you could just twist the hair like this, and you literally use the bottom of your blade, so the bottom of the blade now, or the middle of the blade, and you literally go in like this, and you nip it. You don't cut it off. Scary looking at the first time. You twist the hair. It's called twist cutting. You're twisting, and you're cutting into the middle of the hair. Okay, and then look, you shake that out. There's hair coming away, yeah, but you're not taking anything off the actual length. Okay, so if this was getting really heavy and bulky, you would literally just go in, twist visually, yeah, and then you don't go too far down to the hair, into the scalp, you go halfway. All right, and then you just nip a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Do not use the tips of your blade because you've got more chance of cutting it off. There's nothing much worse when you go snip and it's in your hand. And the client goes, oh, what's that? And you're like, nothing. All right, and we can all probably have a little giggle at that because, you know, sometimes mistakes become our new collection, or, you know, you create something fresh. All right?
You have to.
All right. You just shake that out and you start to see, you know, that's
We're
a little
good.
bit of weight there. Yeah, we're good for time?
Well, yeah, almost. Where's time?
Yeah, I think we're good. So I think we're good on time. So we just wanted to recap literally, guys. It's just an alternate layers, 3 sections, really, really simple. Okay. The inspiration was taken from our Polaroid collection. It's nice and curly. We're on again tomorrow. I'm going to do a mullet. So if you like this haircut or you like our education and you'd like to see us again, tomorrow we are going to do a stronger, edgier haircut. So today we chose a little bit more commercial, salon-friendly, soft, flowy kind of hair. Tomorrow we're going to take a really strong fringe and we're going to make it like into a mullet. All right, so we're going to do something a little bit more edgier, a little bit more rock and roll tomorrow. But enjoy the rest of the videos. Enjoy the rest of the guys who are presenting with our Shark Fin family. Hope you've enjoyed our morning with us, or afternoon, or evening, or wherever you are. But we've just taken some inspiration from our haircut, which is called the alternate layers. All right, thank you guys. Enjoy.
Fantastic job, man. Thank you. I only gave you the thumbs up to say how good it looked, not to
Cool.
cut
I'm
you
like,
off. I'm sorry.
So
don't take off, guys. We have a wonderful prize that we're giving away. We have a toolkit that we're giving away today to everyone who attended this class. So as you see here, Andis, Shark Fin, Pivot Point, Ergo have all come together to provide an amazing toolkit that's valued at over $1,000. So in order to enter, all you have to do is text 888-544-7254. Text us your first and last name, and you'll be entered into that drawing. Of course, if you're attending more than one class, you can only win one time per event. So one time you can't win all 14 classes that we have going on, because we are giving away 14 different toolkits. So I'm going to leave this up here for a minute so everyone can get that phone number again, 888-544-7254, and make sure you text to enter. Gloria, thank you for your camera work. Anthony Edge, thank you for being amazing in our industry, the education that you do, but also thank you for everything that you've done for me personally over the 6 or 7 years we've known each other.
Yeah.
I've asked you for stuff and you've never said no.
One of these days I might say no.
No, that's fine. And I won't be upset. You know what I mean? And not just Shark Fin asking you for stuff, but me as a hairstylist and me as an educator.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be able. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, guys, thank you. Make sure you text to enter the giveaway. We'll select one random winner, and we will text you to let you know that you won the prize. So I'm going to drop this.